If you search how to grow on YouTube or how to beat the algorithm, you will find it instantly. I mean, there's a good chance that you probably searched that to land on this video, because there's an entire genre of creators who make videos about how to get more views. Sometimes this can feel a little bit multi-level marketing-y, like the product is teaching other people how to sell the product. At the same time, it would be dishonest for me to pretend that there aren't principles that matter. If I had to say after 15 years, here are the only things that actually matter, these are the 6 things that I would tell you. Stick around for all of them, but make sure you stick around for 6 because that's definitely the most important one. Number 1, show up regularly. Figure out a regular rhythm that allows you to show up. If you stick to a schedule, your behavior becomes mapped to meeting that deadline. Something is definitely better than nothing. For me, I've told myself that every Saturday at 5:05 a.m., I am going to put something out on my Substack. It doesn't matter what it is, I have to put something out. And that Substack article becomes the genesis for every other piece of content that I have. That's my forcing function. It prevents me from being a perfectionist. Last year, I was putting out a short video every single day, and I kept that up for less than a month. Then I tried every other day, then twice a week. Be comfortable with a range and don't get locked into I have to post this many times or I am a failure. But in my experience, if you don't give yourself a deadline, you can just never show up. I can't guarantee that you'll be successful in your creative endeavors if you follow all the steps that I'm laying out in this video. But I can guarantee you won't succeed if you don't put things out there. Number 2, advice is contextual. Advice is easy to give. My experience is my experience. I can tell you what worked for me. And yes, there are common principles. I mean, you wouldn't see all these channels teaching people how to make a good YouTube video if there weren't patterns that worked. But there are also examples of people being successful on YouTube making wildly different kinds of content. This would be a terrible platform if everyone followed the same exact advice and stuck to the same core principles. This is ironic, I know, considering what the title of the video is, but trust me, we are building towards something with tip number 6. The best teacher is actually doing things yourself. Try things. The worst thing that could happen with videos, you make one that stinks and it doesn't perform well. Relax. Nobody saw it. You can just move on and make another one. Number 3, quality versus quantity. Perhaps the longest debate with making stuff for the internet is what's more important, quality versus quantity. In the age of AI, it's extremely easy to focus on the latter. Quality does matter, but the quality versus quantity debate doesn't have a clean answer. The real answer to me is cadence first, then meet quality within that cadence. If you have a regular rhythm that allows you to show up consistently, like we talked about previously, that's everything. Then, within that time constraint, you dial in the quality as much as you possibly can, moment by moment. I think there's something to be said for improving upon each video as you go. Making a style guide and templates is definitely helpful, but ultimately, if you can focus on making each piece 1% better each upload, that's massive. Quality to me is attention to detail. That's graphic language, spelling mistakes, I struggle with this still, filmmaking language, writing, sound design, and how all the above and more melts together in the pot. Understanding language, whether it's filmmaking or writing or both, matters. Showing your audience that you care about the details shows them that their time is well spent. Lord knows there are plenty of other options on YouTube and off of it for folks to consume and entertain themselves otherwise. Make it worth their while. So the debate ends like this. Show up consistently, and within the time you've given yourself, make it as good as you possibly can. Number 4, learn the platform. So when I first started uploading to TikTok, I wasn't getting any views. I was posting the same short videos that I was putting on YouTube, which was confusing. I'm not saying that the stuff that I make is worthy of tens of thousands of views. I was just trying to understand what was different about TikTok. A friend of mine pointed out that I was baking subtitles into my videos instead of using TikTok's native subtitles, which I learned TikTok uses for indexing content and making search easier. As soon as I changed that, the videos performed better, a lot better. All the different platforms that are out there have their own rules, and it can be extremely overwhelming to keep up with every single one. And by no means do you need to be everywhere, but knowing the specifics of those platforms that you're posting on are essential. On YouTube Shorts, 2 metrics matter the most: stayed to watch versus swiped away, and average view percentage. If you can get both those percentages up near 80%, your short is probably going to do well. Focus on stopping the scroll and then keeping folks around with tension. With long-form YouTube, packaging is everything. Thumbnail, title, the first thing you say, the first thing you show, you need a strong click-through rate. But if it's clickbait and you don't deliver on the promise, people are going to hate it. A video's retention, or how long people are watching your video, in tandem with click-through rate work together to determine if a video gets more views or doesn't. That's why you need strong packaging, and then you need to actually deliver on the promise. That's the whole ballgame. Well, that and tip number 6. Number 5, niche. Niching down is something you're going to hear everywhere, and it works, but you have to actually have expertise in that niche. At my main job, I'm the director of programming for Mostly Media. One of the podcasts we make is called Run the Numbers, a podcast for CFOs and aspiring CFOs. There is CFO content out there, but it's not nearly as saturated as how to grow on YouTube content. It's a much narrower niche. There's less competition. And I think one reason we're successful in that niche is because we're the best at it. We focus heavily on quality. We care about the details. We go deep. We stick to the principles I'm speaking about in this video. I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with niching down with this channel. I don't fully know what it is. I've tried to say it's for creative leaders or aspiring creative leaders, but look at what I've posted about. I've talked about Disney, Blockbuster, YouTube, Costco hot dogs, more on that soon. Whatever I'm thinking about. I don't want to be put into a box. I'm well aware that my subscriber count could be much higher if I fit myself into a niche, if I would just settle into a box. And I think it's possible to not have a niche. You don't have to fit into a neat little box, but it is demonstrably more difficult to make a living on YouTube without one. It's just harder. If you stick to the principles that we've talked about, you can grow either way, but having a niche makes it easier. Number 6, you have to actually like doing it. This might seem dumb to you, but I really think a lot of people overlook it. You have to actually like making YouTube videos. You have to like telling stories. There is definitely this allure to being a YouTuber. For a while, it was the #1 job kids wanted, and it's still at the top of many kids' lists. I was one of those kids. But it's still a job. The hardest part about putting your work on the internet is being sucked into the depths of view counts and the rabbit hole of analytics that dictate success. As I've discussed, there's important metrics that you have to consider, but refreshing studio.youtube.com every 5 minutes will not change the results. When you look at the top creators, you mostly see the fun part, because that's what they craft and publish. You're not seeing the 40 minutes it took me to film this video. You don't see the schedule. You don't see the years when views aren't where you want them to be. The grind of consistency is obscured by the glitz and glamour of the edited export. It is hard, and when it gets hard, something has to carry you through. If you don't enjoy the process, not just the results, it's going to be very difficult to sustain. That part is huge. In fact, it is everything. Because there's no formula to guarantee success. But if you don't show up, you don't learn, you don't iterate, you don't respect the platform, and you don't understand who you're for and don't like doing it, you definitely won't succeed. Those are 6 things that matter for YouTube. Like this video, share it, and subscribe.